Okay, it says we're live.
We're live.
So now we're just going to sit here for a minute. We'll chat a little bit and wait for people to start joining us.
Okay.
But till everybody, I'm Greg. I am the director of Rock Academy here in Davenport, Iowa. I'm actually going to pull one ear out because it's sounding funny on me. But yeah, so we're doing a live Q&A live stream with Mr. Alex Weeden, the guitarist for Miranda Lambert. And so a little backstory between me and you. Actually, we should say welcome first.
Well, thank you.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
So a little backstory, how we were first introduced. I had to look at the dates, but it was October of 2015 that you and the rest of Miranda's band came here to the Rock Academy and hung out for an afternoon and jammed out with some students and took some questions and hung out. It was a good time.
It was a blast.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it was that long ago already. So
I can't even remember. What state are you in? Is it Minnesota?
We're in Iowa.
Iowa, that's right.
We're in Davenport, Iowa. The show that you guys play is across the river from us in Moline, Illinois.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's how we kind of first got to know each other, and we actually did another thing this past October when you guys were in town.
Yeah.
We did that at the arena, which was awesome for the kids because the kids got to do like a whole backstage tour with you guys, check out your dressing room, and even you got to get up on stage, play some of the instruments.
That was great.
Yeah.
I hope they had
fun.
Then,
they had a blast. Yeah. And you know, they were extremely excited because they actually got to meet Miranda when it was all done too. So that's the icing on the cake.
Right. That always
So yeah, we got some people joining in on us. Oh my gosh, we got our first question already.
I think I know the answer.
Are you seeing the comments also?
I see it.
This is the third Q&A we've done in a row, and my friend Cassie, who she's actually a weather person down in Oklahoma City, on channel 9, I believe it is. She's asked the same question the last 3 Q&As.
What were their answers? I know my answer is definitely.
The first person we talked to was Matt Starr, who's the drummer with Ace Frehley and Mr. Big, and he hadn't watched it yet.
Okay.
So, and then we talked with Adam Schoenfeld the other day, and he said absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's her answer? Does she think the same thing? Yes.
Yes.
How about you? Have you seen it?
I did watch it, yeah, and I'm pretty much guarantee.
Yeah.
That's what went down.
My wife and I were 5 episodes in, and we definitely think so.
Oh, how did you only get 5? Did you just start watching it?
No, we just I have my 7-year-old son here, and it's real hard to watch with him here. He's got to be either asleep or in a room far away.
Yeah, exactly.
The language is so bad.
Yeah, I watched it myself, and then I was like telling my wife, like, you got to watch this, because she's never one to really binge watch stuff, but she watched it over like a 3-day time span.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So Cal says he met you at Joe's Bar years ago. Down to earth guy, great player.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Cal. Have you ever been to Joe's Bar in Chicago?
Actually, I've been to Joe's on Weed Street.
Yeah, that's the one.
And then there's Joe's in Rosemont now. Actually, me and Cal played a show at Joe's at Rosemont about a year ago. So
nice. I love those people, Tommy and Ed. They're the greatest.
Yeah. And they're amazingly good venues.
Oh yeah, great sound. They're always so nice to everybody, and the crowd's always great.
Yeah,
it's always real energetic in there.
Yeah. So let's get right to the first question.
Okay.
Real question, anyway, that everybody always wants to know, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, you see that on your screen? Yeah, how'd you get hooked up with Miranda and the rest of the band?
Okay. It was in 2003. I was in another band called Honey Brown here in Texas, and Miranda used to actually open up for that band a couple of times, and she was coming up.
Yeah.
And that her dad asked me if I wanted to join the band, and I didn't really think anything of it because I was in a band that was doing pretty well, at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, man, I'll think about it, And I didn't really think much of it. And then about 6 months later, I see her on Jay Leno, and I'm just kicking myself.
Oh.
And then her tour manager at that time was a guy named Jordan Powell, who tour managed Phil Pritchett and Jack Ingram. And we had always, opened up for Jack Ingram and stuff. And so I hit it off with him. And when she fired her, or when she lost her guitar player at the time, they called me, and it was, you want to come do this? No audition. You got the gig if you want it. And I was like, absolutely.
Nice.
I'll take it. And that was in 2005.
Okay.
That happened. So I've been with her, I guess, 15 years now.
Because when was her first hit? What year would that have been?
Our first hit was Kerosene, which would have been 2005.
Okay. So basically from the get-go.
Yeah, I got on right at the perfect time. I mean, she was already on a tour bus. It was one bus with a trailer. And so it was, I got to ride the whole thing. It's been great.
Nice. Yeah. My wife is a huge fan. So I think we've seen you guys, I want to say 8 or 9 times.
Nice.
Something like that.
So great.
From the beginning. So
yeah, nice. It's all, I feel like she's been putting on a good show since day one. It's always, she just has that X factor that separates her from a lot of people.
Yeah. And great songwriting. And the thing I love about it, it's not like a real overproduced sound.
Right.
It's a natural, sounds like a real band.
I agree. Yeah. And we've never used tracks, it's always live, good music.
Yeah. So tell us where you're at. You're in your music room, obviously, right?
Yeah, I'm in Austin, Texas.
In Austin, Texas,
mm-hmm.
And he's not drinking. That's not a beer, folks.
That's water.
We were just having this conversation before this started. I don't even know what that stuff is. Some kind of bubbling water. I think it's a Texas thing.
It is. It's great. I think it's from Mexico. It's great. You love it if you try it. I see Charlie Jackson here.
Do you know Charlie?
I know Charlie. He's been there. He's another guy that's been there longer than I have. He's a day one fan of Miranda's, and he's a great guy. Other than Miranda, what other female country music star would you like to work with? Does she need to be hot or talented or both? That's a great question, Charlie. Well, first of all, I would not want to work with any others besides Miranda. I'm hoping to do that until the day I die. It's the greatest job in the world. I love her so much. I love everything about her. I mean, if I had to pick another one I could work for, it'd be maybe a Lucinda Williams or, something that's great music like hers.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
And I've always loved female artists. I mean, even way before I got this gig, I always had female artists. I always bought their CDs and albums and stuff. I know some guys can't do it, but they can't get into the female singers. I've always liked the sound of female voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, did you grow up in Texas?
I did, in Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
But I've been in Austin since '95.
Okay. When you started playing, what was 13-year-old Alex listening to?
13-year-old Alex, all the way till today's Alex, is a classic rocker. I always try new stuff, and I always listen to everything, but I always go back to David Bowie, Led Zeppelin, Beatles, Stones, Pink Floyd, the usuals.
Yeah.
That's just classic rock is definitely my deal.
So when you were learning, that's all the stuff who were your guitar idols?
My first one for sure was Jimmy Page.
Okay.
And then, then I got into David Gilmour. Everybody. I mean, I like so many other rock. I like Mick Ronson a whole lot. The guy that played with Bowie back in the day. And I always kind of like the sloppier guitar players as opposed to the very precise players.
Yeah. So you're not like a shredder.
I'm not a shredder at all. I feel like my speed is not there. The wheelie, but yeah. I always like the guy. Like, to me, Jimmy Page has a sloppy sound, but it's the ultimate sloppy sound. It's just perfect. Or Slash, he plays sloppy, great, tasty. Billy Duffy from The Cult. I love him.
Hmm.
I love that sound where it's not like where they got on Pro Tools and made every note exactly perfect, and you can hear the real playing. I think
Yeah.
Jack White's like that. All those kind of guys, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being a Texas guy, you've probably watched the ZZ Top documentary, right?
I
That just came
haven't
out.
watched it yet. I've got it ready to go. It's in my queue, and I haven't done it yet. I've been homeschooling my boy, and
Yeah.
by the time it comes to bedtime, I'm out.
Yeah.
But I
I,
want to watch it really bad.
I've been trying to stay up, like because I get up when the girls get up, and my wife's working from home right now also, so I'm trying to take care of in the mornings as much schooling as I can.
Yeah,
By the time they're in bed, I'm done.
that's the same here. We wake up. My wife works from home, and we've been waking up and doing school, and I'm out at night. We watch Tiger King here and there, and go to bed. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like last night, I did actually sit up and I laid a few tracks down, just some demo stuff, just to like get some creativity out of me
Yeah.
because I probably haven't done that in a month.
Yeah. It's good for you. It makes you feel like you're being productive.
Yeah, because just trying to keep the school going, and
Yeah.
we did the whole switch over to all online lessons,
Nice.
and so the whole learning curve of the whole Zoom lessons and getting everybody on and how to like log in correctly and how to set their camera and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Like the first week or so was just hectic as all get out.
Oh, I'm sure.
But now everybody's settling into the groove and
Yeah.
it's mostly back to normal.
That's good.
But yeah, the last month I just had no time to be creative
Right.
whatsoever. But it
My
felt
wife
good.
lets me do it on the weekends. I've been recording with some guys. We'll just take a cover song and do like a 1 minute snippet of it, and the drummer will do the tracks at his house and the bass player at his house, and
You know,
send it to me.
those are on your Facebook page, right?
They are. Yeah.
I actually watched those.
Thanks.
You do a really good Ozzy.
Thank you. I feel like I do a pretty good Ozzy. I discovered that accidentally too. I was in the bathroom one day and I was singing Ozzy, and a couple guys from the band came. They're like, "Man, you do a great Ozzy," and and I was like, "That is pretty good, isn't it?" And so we went with it.
Yeah. So, what was the other one? You did the Maiden song.
Yeah, we did the Maiden song, and then we did the David Bowie Moon Age Daydream.
Yeah.
And we've got Creep by Radiohead on deck coming next, and then I did a Pearl Jam one for this other guy singing, and then we're doing an Oasis song coming up.
Yeah, it keeps you busy then.
Yeah, it's fun, and it makes me go and relearn stuff that I didn't. We're gonna do Ramble On by Zeppelin, and I've been playing it wrong my whole life. You know, when you start really dissecting it,
Mhm.
and you can even get on YouTube and listen to the solo isolated tracks by Jimmy Page, and you can hear it's just so sloppy in the greatest way. And when I say sloppy, I don't mean that bad. I mean feeling. I mean, it's just like it's different every time he plays it, and it's just
Yeah.
raw emotion. You know, I love that.
Yeah. It's stuff you wouldn't get away with in today's
Never.
recording.
You could. The producer would tear it apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is sad, really.
Yeah. That's what I love. Like, I'm a big Cheap Trick fan.
Oh yeah.
And Rick Nielsen, like his guitar playing's great, but man, it is all over the place.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then especially if you go see him live too.
Yeah.
Like it sounds almost like he's fumbling around, but he's not. He knows what he's doing.
You know, we got to go to his house and see his guitar collection one day about probably 6 years ago.
Nice.
It was his drummer Dax was friend with our tour manager at the time, and
Okay.
we were in Rockford, Illinois, and we got to go to his basement, and he sat there and showed us all his guitars and was so nice, and it was great.
That's great.
That was one of the highlights of touring for me, for sure.
Yeah, Dax is an old buddy of mine. He actually did one of these Q&As with us about 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, nice. He's a great guy.
Yeah, because him and his brother had a band, because Rockford's only like 2 hours from here.
Okay.
And him and his brother about 20 years ago had a band together called Harmony Riley. Okay. And my band and his band we just end up on the same bill all over the region. So we became friends back then. And now it's been so much fun to like watch him get to the level that he's at now.
Yeah.
Like went see him cheap Foo Fighters at Wrigley Field.
Oh, awesome.
So to see your buddy on a huge screen in Wrigley Field, like that was pretty cool.
I bet. That's great. He's a
and
great
he's
drummer.
oh yeah, he is. Like I love Bunny Carlos,
Oh yeah.
but Dax just brings a new energy to that band.
Yeah.
Like his energy level is just killer.
I agree. And imagine playing with your dad like that. How fun that'd be. Classic
Oh yeah,
song, classic rock radio.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a question here.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw this one up on the thing. Craig wants to know: have you ever been brave enough to play a prank on Miranda?
Well, I will tell you first off, Craig is another day one guy. He's been around there at least as long as I have, if not longer. He's a great. Hi, Craig. Have I ever been brave enough to play a prank on Miranda? I'm sure I have. I can't think of one though. Oh, you got to be pretty brave to play a prank on her though.
Yeah,
She does not like pranks. They usually do end of tour pranks.
yeah,
When you're opening for a band or something, and we were always coming up and opening for Keith Urban and Brad Paisley and whatnot, and she would tell them up front, "I don't like pranks. Don't
yeah.
do it." She's not a fan of that, and I think she has a good reason for it. It's because she says if it interferes with the show, then it's funny for us, but it's not funny for the crowd.
Yeah.
And I think she's right.
Well,
They don't get the joke.
yeah. Yeah, you see like other ones like, oh, people come out in a big costume.
Right.
And it's like, I guess it's for some shows, I guess it could be fine.
Right. But
yeah,
she's out there singing "The House That Built Me," and someone comes out in a bunny suit or something. It's not that funny.
yeah. So Darlene wants to know what's your favorite part of touring?
Oh, without a doubt, the catering. It's an open trough all day long, and I'm in there at least half the day. No, I'm kind of serious about that, but
Oh yeah.
In all honesty, my favorite part is the camaraderie. I would say, the playing the music and all is the greatest thing in the world. And then in the daytime, you're hanging out with all these guys and girls that you just love. And like right now, when we're off the road, that's the number one thing I miss is just hanging with everybody and playing music with them live. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah. A lot of guys I've heard them say like being on the road, especially like the way that a lot of you Nashville guys do it, where you do like the 3 or 4 day runs. It's like going to like a day camp.
Well, yeah, we always say we're summer camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's always so much crazy, incredible stuff that goes on. We always say like, oh, this is season 5 of Entourage, Remember that TV show? It's always the craziest, coolest things going on. That's what it's like out there. It's just there's always something fun and odd,
So what your favorite part of touring, of course, is the food. But so what are some of your favorite gigs that you've done?
Favorite gigs we've done? I would say number 1 was doing Madison Square Garden. And just for the fact that it's Madison Square Garden. I mean, you can see behind me, that's our set list from Madison Square Garden. That one was so special. And then of course Red Rocks is just incredible. And Joe's Bar on Weed Street is so fun because it's just the greatest energy.
Yeah.
We don't really do that one anymore. I wish we would, and then also we did the baseball parks are always real neat, like Fenway and Wrigley.
Yeah. They're
all great. I mean, even if you're playing some arena you've never heard of in a town you've never heard of, it's always great. It's the greatest. I always say I'm still in my honeymoon phase. Everyone's like, man, aren't you sick of it? It's like, no.
15 years later.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get sick of it. It's great.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
So, Charlie wants to know, you think if your son follow in your footsteps?
I sure hope so. I try to get him to play, and he's kind of a little young for it now. He's only 7.5, and it's real hard for his fingers. I have my first guitar that I learned on actually, that I got in the 5th grade, and he has it in his room. He'll pick it up every once in a while, but the main thing is I don't want to force him to do it, or he'll hate it.
Yeah.
But I sure hope he does follow my footsteps. I think he could probably be pretty good at it.
Yeah. Like with my daughters, my older daughter has no interest whatsoever in music.
No.
But my younger one, the kindergartner, we have a program here called Kids Rock that we do at the school, and it's for kids ages 4 to 7.
Yeah.
So we put them into bands, and everything's kind of color coded, and like they play like on a Squire Mini,
Okay.
but it's altered where it only has 3 strings, and there's like lettered. Hey, actually, my guitar guy's here. Scotty, can you bring me that Squire over there?
And will they stay focused and really do it?
You know, they have the attention span of like a goldfish.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's a
Okay.
So a little Squire Mini,
Yeah.
and it's got just the 3 strings.
And
then
tell
like
them what dots to hit there?
Yeah, so you got this open strings are labeled there, A, D, and
Okay.
E.
Cool.
And then there's like a color coded curriculum book that comes with it. And then like the drum kit is like a kick drum, snare drum, floor tom, and a crash.
Nice.
And then we do it with the keyboards also. And they all play the same songs as a band.
That's great.
So
that's great that they're interested at that age.
So yeah, my daughter, her band is called the Taco Pirates.
I like it.
But yeah, like, so yeah, it's all color coded.
Oh yeah.
So
Cool.
But yeah, it's a fun thing so she thinks she's a rock star.
She probably is.
Because they've already put on, they had a concert right before Christmas, and then they were supposed to have one in the middle of March, but that's right when this whole thing started.
Oh,
so
yeah. Bummer.
So we had to postpone all that, but it's so much fun. When we started moving everything home, I had to bring a drum kit home so I could teach out of my house.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Can you bring the kids' rock guitar home so we can play together?" And I'm like, "Absolutely."
That's great. You want to hear that?
So yeah, like what about every other day or so, she's like, "Daddy, can we go downstairs and play?"
Nice.
So she sits there on the guitar, and because that's her favorite one.
Yeah.
And she'll play the thing, and I'll just put a little rhythm behind it, and we'll, of course, her attention span's only 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's better than nothing.
But it's still cool to sit there and jam a little bit.
It's way better than having them play video games, isn't it?
Oh yeah, they're addicted to their tablets.
Oh yeah.
So, which was a mistake I wish we wouldn't have made.
Right.
We got them both tablets for Christmas.
Yeah.
And my older daughter had just probably from like Halloween till Christmas had really gotten into reading a lot, like that Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. Like she was blasting through a book every like 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
And then we're like, oh, let's get him a tablet. She hasn't hardly read anything since Christmas.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip Billy's question because Billy got mixed up. He's actually one of our guitar instructors also.
Oh, okay.
And he's asking a question for Adam Schoenfeld, who was on here on Monday.
Oh, he's late.
Because Jason, he does all the Aldine albums.
Okay.
So come on, Billy, get with the program, man. So Izzy, she's one of our bass students.
Oh, hi, Izzy.
She's met you before. So what was your first guitar? I think you already mentioned it earlier, but
yeah, it was a no-name guitar made in Korea, I think, or Hong Kong, something like that. And it's hanging on my son's room right now. I still have it. It was just a tiny little Stratocaster type looking guitar.
Yeah.
But it had no name brand or anything. And it's a piece of junk, of course, but it did the trick.
And you held on to it this whole time.
Held on to it this whole time.
For like 20 years, right?
Yeah, only 20. Longer than that. I've had it for now 38 years.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm 48, and I got that when I was 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So another student of ours, if you had one message to give all your fans out there, what would it be?
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't think I have any fans. But if I were to give anyone playing music a message, I would say what I wish I would have done is I wish I would have learned more theory, more music theory.
Yeah. I
feel like I know a pretty good amount of it now, but I feel like I could definitely be way more schooled in it. And I've been trying to do it. There's so much stuff on YouTube and, like y'all's academy there.
We do offer online lessons now.
Nice.
If you got, If you got nothing going on, I can hook you up with somebody.
I might take up on that. But I just wish that I would have learned more theory. So I feel like that's something I would tell people to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
All right.
also just making it fun. You know, learning songs, you can learn so much by just learning songs. And that also makes it fun when you can sit around and play the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Craig again.
Okay.
Favorite Miranda song to play live. Also favorite Weeden song to play, which we haven't talked about Weeden yet. I have that on my list.
Craig's got some good ones here, doesn't he? My favorite Miranda song to play live, I would say, is Vice. I just love that song so much. I think the guitar parts are real cool. I think her vocal is always stellar, but it's extra stellar on that one. And then I would also say House That Built Me, because you can look out in the crowd at any given night and you'll see someone crying. At least one person. That song and Over You too. Whenever we played House That Built Me or Over You, you can find somebody crying, and I just think that seeing her music move people like that is pretty awesome to see.
My wife's usually the one during house.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot out there, and I see why. I mean, the first 10 times I heard it, the first 10 times we played it, I would cry. Miranda would start crying. It'd make me cry, and I'd have to turn my back to the crowd, you know?
Huh.
I mean, it's incredible. And then as far as my favorite Weeden song to play, I've got one called Whatever Makes You Happy that I like playing a whole lot live. We only play it live maybe once a year, but that's my favorite one.
Okay, so we're gonna get back to Billy because he finally got his stuff together and realized who we were talking to today.
Okay.
Billy's a little flighty sometimes, so
that's all right. We all are.
So, better question. Your album released in December. How do you find time to release your own album while you're on tour?
Okay, well, that's a good question. That album had been in the making since about 2001. I've always had, you know, a Pro Tools setup or a Logic setup or something at my house, and I had always recorded songs, and you know, at my home, and then I would take my stuff out on the road and do stuff in the green room. Like I'd get, you know, our bass player to play a track right there in the green room, or, you know, Spencer would put something on there, and it just kind of kept going and going. And all of a sudden I looked down, I had all these songs compiled. And so it came over a long period of time. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
If I were to try to put one out right now, it would take so long.
Another 18 years?
Well, I mean, with this virus thing going on, if I didn't have homeschooling, I could knock one out pretty quick, but yeah, otherwise it might be another 18 years.
Yeah. That's how we're working it with like our student bands right now. We're trying to, because of course, you know, we can't get together to practice.
Yeah.
So I'm having them just like record their own tracks and send them to me.
Yeah.
And then I'll put the production time into it, and hopefully it sounds like a real song. Hopefully they play with in time.
It's a lot of work for sure.
Yeah, but the few songs that we have done so far have sounded really, really good.
Good.
So and it's fun to have the kids do a project during this time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you're not keeping them engaged, like they might not touch their instrument.
Yeah, they'll forget about it.
Yeah, so doing just a simple half-hour lesson each week is good, but to have them work on an actual project keeps them going a little bit better than that.
Good. I will say that when I was a kid, after I picked it up at age 10, I never really fell out of love with it. I always liked playing.
Yeah. That's how I was too. Like you couldn't stop me from playing.
Yeah.
Like I would get home from school and I'd play, you know, at least a couple hours a night.
Yeah.
And my parents, you know, and I took private lessons, but my parents never had to be on me like, hey, you didn't practice it all this week.
Right. Yeah.
But
even still today, I have guitars in every room and they're always out of the, that's something else too, is keep your guitar out of the case. I think if you put them in the case and worry about getting them dinged and dented and all that, you never play them. But if you have them sitting out around the house, you'll pick it up. I sit there and noodle on mine while I watch TV all the time. It drives my wife crazy.
Oh, I bet.
I'll sit there and watch Andy Griffith and pick on the guitar the whole time, and she's in there, you know, working in the other room.
Yeah. Yeah, you got the guitar hanging out in the back on the back wall there.
Yeah, a couple back there, but it keeps your fingers moving. You lose dexterity so fast. I feel like if I miss so much as one day of playing, I can really tell the difference the next day. And
Yeah,
then like when we go back out live with Miranda, there's a huge difference between playing around the couch and playing in front of a crowd too. I mean, massive difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got to walk around while you're doing it.
Well, that and it's just something else. It's just a totally different animal.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain what it is, but it's definitely different.
So you have your little music room there that we're hanging out in.
Uh-huh.
So what kind of you say you're a Pro Tools guy?
Well, I used to be forever, and now I switched to Logic a couple of years ago, and I've
Okay.
liked it a lot better.
Oh, Billy wants you to talk about that vintage SG you got on the wall there.
That's actually that's a 2005. It's a reissue of a 61 SG. Where they called it a Les Paul in 61, but I actually had a 64 SG Junior, and it was Pelham blue. You know what that is? It's that blue color that turns green over time.
Okay.
And it was the coolest guitar in the world. And like an idiot, I traded it in about 1990.
Oh,
I traded it for a reissue Les Paul, and I'm just sick about it still.
that sucks.
It was awesome. No, that's a great guitar too. That one. The only thing about SGs for me is they're very temperamental.
Yeah.
They're hard to keep in tune, and they look
Yeah.
great though, and they sound great.
Yeah. That's Billy's go-to
Is it?
his SG. But
Nice.
Billy, if you're still on there, what year is yours? You probably know, Scotty.
2000.
Is it? I thought it was an old one.
He had an old one. He had an 80s one, and he traded for that one.
Oh, he traded in an 80s one for a 2001.
Nice.
So
A lot of these newer ones though, they're making them.
what's that?
A lot of these new guitars, all the Gibson Custom Shop and the Fender Custom Shop, they're knocking them out real nice. I just bought a Fender Custom Shop Telecaster maybe 3 years ago, and it's probably my favorite guitar I have. Besides, my favorite Fender anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds good or better than my vintage Telly.
Okay, so yeah, he says it's a 2006 it's a 61 reissue.
There you go.
Nice.
I know
I
it
see
says
the question. Yeah, mine is a reissue 61 exactly.
yeah. He's got good eyes.
Good eye. Good eye.
He's a total gearhead, so
Nice. What does he typically play in SG?
that's his go-to when he's teaching anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
That was exactly what my teacher had when I was a kid.
yeah.
He had like a real 61 SG, Les Paul SG.
Yeah. So let's keep on with the questions here. So, who else we got? Met you in Denver the last show. Got a pick, and you gave me a pick after. Thanks. Awesome. How's Scotty?
All right. Well, good to meet you in Denver. That was the last show we actually played. We hadn't played since that show.
Were you guys? You had just started a tour when this started?
No, it was the end of a tour, but we were supposed to go to Australia and Canada and all that stuff after that, and that all got canceled. But Denver ended up being a remake because Miranda got sick, and
Okay.
so that was the last show we've played until now, and it feels like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So when was that? Beginning of March?
That was I think it was into February even.
Okay.
I can't remember. And he said, "How's Scotty? Scotty's hanging in there. He's doing great. We talk all the time, and he's in great spirits. And we miss him so much out on the road. Scotty was a guitar player that had been with Miranda since day one.
Okay.
And he was, and still is. He's such a mentor to me. He's showed me so many tricks and stuff. And
He's the older fella, right?
He's an older fella, yeah. But
Yeah.
his health kind of took a turn, but he's still hanging in there.
Yeah.
But he's just not healthy enough to be on the road right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember talking with him briefly when you guys were here in October.
Yeah.
And yeah, he wasn't getting around too good, but
yeah.
Boo let us out on your bus. Let the kids out there to see what the bus was like.
That's right.
And he was hanging out on the bus. So
yeah, he's a great guy.
All right. So what kind of amps do you use for the tour?
That's a good question. Right now, I had switched between a few of them, but I have a '69 Marshall small box 50 watter that I found in Minneapolis one time. Um, it's awesome. It's kind of whenever I'm playing a Gibson, for the most part, I'm playing through that, and then I have a switcher that I switch. I go back and forth between that and a Fulton Webb, which is made here in Austin. It's kind of voxy. It's kind of like I have a cleaner, chimier Vox on one side, and then the Marshall. And then I also use a Greer Thunderbolt 30, which is a guy out of Athens, Georgia. He makes great amps and pedals. And I kind of switch between those three amps. So it's a lot of times it's different with different guitars.
Yeah. So
and different songs, obviously.
So when you're not on tour, where's that amp at?
They're out on a truck. Yeah. I guess they're probably in storage now.
Yeah.
Because they probably turned the trucks in, but they're always out on the road.
Don't you wish you just had it sitting there in your room right now?
I do, but the thing is I paid a lot of money for that amp, and I used to not take it out on the road, but because I didn't want it to get messed up. And then it hit me one day. I was like, what good is this amp or guitar or whatever doing hanging on my wall or sitting in my bedroom? I'd rather have it play Madison Square Garden and have some stories.
Yeah.
So I insure everything and I use it. I'm not a believer in just buying something to make money on it.
Yeah.
And I feel like all that gear is a great investment because you can buy it and use it and make money on it, really, as long as nothing gets broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have somebody that takes care of it for you.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all real good about it.
So, what band, song, or guitar solo really inspired you to want to learn how to play the guitar?
Well, first off, let me say that's Luke. I know Luke. He's a pick collector. I send him picks every tour when we get new ones. He lives in I think North Dakota. What band, song, or solo inspired you to want to play guitar? I would say the first inspiration I ever had was I remember we just got MTV. That shows how old I am. But it had just come out, and a Ted Nugent video came on. I'd never even heard of the guy or anything, and he was up there playing guitar, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, I want to play guitar," and I was really just kidding.
Was he in his loincloth?
He was shirtless, and it was the song Wango Tango, if you remember that one. And he was just, crazy up there. And I just said that jokingly. And the next day my dad was like, or that day he's like, we'll get you one. Let's do it. And we went and bought that cheap no-name guitar and a little cheap no-name amp. And that inspired me. And then I remember I got a teacher and he started showing me some Zeppelin songs. And that's what I remember. He taught me Livin' Lovin' Maid by Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And I remember I had heard the name Led Zeppelin, so I knew it was cool. And that made me really get into guitar. And then he showed me the solo for Livin' Lovin' Maid, which was, it's real easy, but I'd say so that might have been the solo.
Yeah. And that's when you knew that's what you wanted to do.
Oh yeah, definitely. I never put it down since. I always loved it ever since.
So we'll come back to you, Billy. I'm gonna jump down to Seth's question, the real important stuff.
That is important.
So Seth is the dad of two of our students.
Is he a barbecue man?
I would guess he is. I've never had barbecue with the man, but I would guess he is. Nice. So favorite Austin barbecue.
There is so many great Austin barbecue joints. I'd say my favorite right now is one called Smoky Moe's, and it's in the little strip mall off of McNeil up here in North Austin. And then there's another one called Southern what's it called? Southern Market. I think that's what it's called. I go there all the time. I have a daughter that lives about an hour and a half away, and every time I pick her up, I get to stop there and eat. She's so sick of it. I always say, "How about some lip smacking barbecue?" And then she's, again. And we'll always stop there and eat.
It's so good though. I wish we had a bunch of that around here. We only have a few joints, and they never seem to stay open very long for whatever reason. People just don't support them around here.
Yeah, there's tons of them here, and they're all great. There's another one called Opie's that is out in Spicewood, about probably 45 minutes from my house, and it's worth the drive. It's incredible. It started out as a guy and his wife, and he just had a big pit, and he would say, "What do you want?" And he'd pull like a whole chicken out or something, and then he would throw it on a tray and take it into his wife, and she'd be in there with a big butcher's knife and just cut it up for you and give it to you back on the tray with no plate or anything.
Oh, that's
And
perfect.
and now it's gotten so famous it turned into this huge brick and mortar, big barbecue joint. So it's kind of cool
Oh,
to see it go from that to what it is now, and it's still the same great barbecue.
God, you're gonna make me hungry, man.
I know I'm gonna have to get barbecue after this now.
S- Somebody wants to know. Randall wants to know: will there be a
Randal
Weeden gig
Singer.
this year?
I don't know this guy, but let's see here. I'm hoping that there will be. We usually do it in December, and I haven't booked it as of yet. But
Yeah.
we always do it in Houston, Texas, or the Woodlands, Texas. But we
Okay.
might try to book one this year in Fort Worth, just because it's my home and we never play there. And since we only get to do one a year, I figure we might switch it up this year.
Yeah. Let's hope we're doing stuff by then.
I really hope.
Ain't gonna be no gigs this year.
I'm we for my band we were actually on a little bit of a hiatus anyway
Uh-huh.
because our singer had to have a surgery, and so she was out for a while. So we had planned on being off this whole time anyway.
Yeah, nice.
So, but we haven't. We did some gigs. We actually flew over to Taiwan and did some gigs the first week of January.
Oh wow.
So that was the last time I played, was beginning of January on the other side of the world.
Wow. It's a long flight, I bet.
It was like 27 hours to get there, something like that.
That's rough.
16 from here to Hong Kong, and then like an hour from Hong Kong to Taiwan.
Wow.
But if you ever have the chance to go to Taiwan, I'd highly recommend it.
All right.
It is beautiful over there.
I bet. I'm so sad we had Australia canceled because that's the second time it's been canceled since I've been with her now.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's even longer flight.
yeah, and I was really dreading the flight, but I finally got psyched up enough to okay, I'm going to do this. I ordered a nice neck pillow, the whole deal, and
Ooh.
then it got canceled. Yeah, so hopefully.
So now you just lay around watching your Netflix with your neck
Right.
pillow on.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I see
Seth,
it. Check out Slab Barbecue. Yeah, I've had that. It is great. I
it's
went
all
there
90s rap
last Father's
themed.
Day, actually. I never
Yeah.
realized it is all 90s rap theme. Is there stuff on the walls about that?
Yeah, you're just gonna have to go check it out for yourself, I guess.
I've been a couple times. I didn't even notice that. I guess I was in there just following my nose. That was all I could think of. It is good
Yeah.
barbecue though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably been 15 years since I've been to Austin, so
Yeah.
I'm due.
Yeah. It's changed a lot. It's big. Man,
Yeah.
it's crowded.
That's what I've heard. It's like there's cranes and
Oh, everywhere.
stuff going up everywhere.
Yeah. Just like Nashville is too. I guess if you've been there lately.
I went through there back in like November.
Yeah, a lot of cranes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you, most people move to Nashville that are in your gig. What made you stay there in Texas?
Well, I have a daughter that is not with my mom, and she, like I said, she lives an hour and a half away from me now. But if I moved to Nashville, I would, I'd never see her. So
Yeah.
I stay for her.
Yeah.
That's a good enough reason, isn't it?
That's a great reason.
Yeah. No, otherwise
And-
we'd have been there a long time ago. If
Yeah.
otherwise, it would sure help with traveling. I travel a lot. I fly, all the time. But I'd rather do that and see my daughter.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys, when that time that you guys came here in 2015, I remember that conversation in the car on the way. I think it was from the school back to the arena, that half the guys in the band were from the Nashville area, and half of you were in Texas.
Right.
That you guys have an average of, I forget what you said, like 6 extra hours of traveling every week.
Oh, more than that. It came, our drummer did the math. It came out to him being home a month more than us with all the traveling. And
Per year?
When we rehearse, per year. When we rehearse, it's always in Nashville. And, I'll be there for a week of rehearsals and sleep in a hotel. And those guys come to rehearse for 3 hours and then they go back to their houses,
Yeah.
And then like every Wednesday is typically when I fly out, and it's usually between leaving my house and getting to the bus is probably 6 to 7 hours each time.
Wow.
Just with driving, flying, getting your bag, all that nonsense.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, I do the same thing on the way home.
Yeah. You need to
A
just
lot.
get your pilot's license, man.
I know. I wish I could just buy my own jet and do that. It'd be nice.
Yeah. That's how Dirk's band does it.
Yeah, they do. They do.
He just
Dirk
flies them
one.
all around.
That's great, isn't it?
Like, and it's like, so that way, like, he can end the gig at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
and be home by like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Right. And then he'll fly back to the next gig at, land at 5 or something. 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And do his meet and greet and then go play.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But
Which,
hey,
by the way, he's one of my favorite people in the whole world. Of all the people we've ever toured with, he is top notch.
yeah.
I don't know if you've had a chance to meet him or not.
I did actually. Actually, you guys opened up for him.
Yeah.
So this was, what is 2006?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that's what it was. It was called maybe Locked and Reloaded, or no, Locked and Loaded tour. It was Randy Rogers and Miranda and then Dirk.
Yeah.
And then we did the tour again. It was called Locked and Reloaded, and that was maybe 2013 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that show. Yeah, but that was one of those, like, me and my wife had only been dating for a little while.
Yeah.
At that time, and you're playing like an hour away, and I'm like, oh, those are her two favorites.
Nice.
Playing on the same night, we got to go.
Yeah, that was a great lineup.
My buddy was a promoter up at that for that show, so
okay.
He hooked us up, and he's like, I'll get you backstage to meet Dirks for your wife. So.
Nice. Yeah, he was.
So it was one.
Nice.
But it was one of those, how quick the meet and greets are.
Yeah.
It was like boom, boom, hi, picture, gone.
Yeah. He's funny. He's one of those guys that can meet you and he'll remember your name a year later. He's awesome. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about your you have your solo album that came out.
Uh-huh.
And how long it took you 18 years or whatever to get it done. It's called Cherries and Kiwi, correct?
It is.
And I've actually been listening to it the last few days.
Oh, good. Thanks.
So, I wanted to brush up on everything you were doing, and I love it. It's like I was playing it for my wife, and what I said about it, and I hope you take this as a good way, that it's extremely listenable.
Awesome. I'll take
Like
that in a good way for sure.
Like, there's some I listen to, like, I listen to times for girl on me.
Sorry, you're cutting out there.
I said that some albums you have to listen to it a couple times.
Right.
It's like, all right, okay, I like this now. But like pretty much everything on this right away. It's like,
awesome.
I like that. I like that. Good stuff.
Thank you. That's a great compliment. I thank you for that.
So
I feel real proud of that album.
So where can everybody get it? Is it on all different platforms?
Yeah, it is. It's on all the the Spotify and iTunes Music or Apple Music they call it now, and Amazon Music, all that stuff. There's a thing if you go to alexweeden.hearnow.com, it'll take you to it'll link it right to them. And then I also have physical copies for sale on my website. If you click on alexweeden.com, there's a little link there to order.
All right. And I'll put this up here if people want to follow you.
All
right. I have a little banner already made for you.
Oh, how nice. Thank you.
Yeah. We're like a professional gig over here, man.
That's just pro ball, isn't it?
It is. We don't mess around, man. So click on that and follow what he's doing. We got another question coming in now. What's the best thing about having Miranda as your boss?
Man, I would say just how cool she is and how talented she is. I never once have to worry about going and playing some song that I don't want to play. I mean, everything she puts out, in my opinion, is just top notch, great stuff. And I play them with pride. I mean, I'm just so happy to play all her stuff. And the fact that off stage, she's as cool as they come. Yeah. She's just a sweet, nice, tough, everything. She's everything you think she is. She is like gunpowder and lead, and then she's also house that built me, if that makes sense. She's just tender, sweet, and then she'll also whoop your butt if you're doing something stupid. So
Does she ever yell at you? Ever yell at you for anything on stage?
Not on stage, no. I think in all honesty, I think that's why I'm still around, is I don't really mess up on stage. Of course I will now. Knock on wood.
Yeah, don't say that.
Right. And if I do, it's something pretty minor. And I'll never say I'm the greatest guitar player in the world, but I think I'm consistent at just at being. I'm pretty solid. I'll play the right parts and I'll execute them. And I really think that's why I'm still here. That, and I get along with her great, and she's loyal. And
yeah, because you got at any given time you have you got Boo on guitar also. Mm-hmm. Miranda plays acoustic or I guess she plays electric too. So you got 3, sometimes 4 guitars going at one time.
Well, then there's also Charlie, who's now playing from where Scotty Ray was. He's playing acoustic and sometimes electric. And then you have Spencer on steel.
Yeah.
Playing, he plays steel or mandolin or banjo. And so there's a lot of strings going on. And all those guys are just amazing players. I love playing with those guys. The drummer, the bass player, every single one of them, keyboard guy, all just as good as they come.
Yeah.
And Boo, especially this guy, he is so talented. And I'll sit there and he plays nonstop. I mean, if he's backstage, he's got a guitar in his hand. And I'll sit there and watch him and just be like, what the hell is he doing? And then I'll get him to show me some stuff, and it's always halftime. It's over my head, but he's just incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, like, man, maybe I should get both of you on here at the same time.
That would have been great.
But then I was like, man, would it be too hectic with 3 people talking?
I don't know. There is definitely a lag, but I'd love to have him on here too. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah. Boo, if you're listening, but yeah, if we've been going, man, we've been 52 minutes already.
Oh, wow.
That's good, man.
That's good.
So,
look at Craig here. You play loud guitar better than anybody. Hey, I pride myself in that, Craig. I pride myself in being loud.
Yeah, you got to, man.
You got to.
So you say he's part of the crew?
No, Craig is one of these guys that's been around. I've seen him in the crowd since day one, and he's still doing all the shows. He's up in Minneapolis, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I love seeing all those. It's so cool to see familiar faces that have been there since day one. I love it. And I know Miranda does too. It's just to see someone that's been out there that you saw 15 years ago, that, when only Kerosene was the song out at the time. And now they're still out there, and they're still half the time they're in front row.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I think so the first time I saw the band, it was opening for George Strait.
Yeah. I think that was 06, maybe 05.
Yeah. That was, it was me and my wife's first concert we ever went to together.
Nice.
So that was the first time. And the only thing I remember Aiden.
Yeah.
Cause he had this big old mohawk.
Yeah.
At that time.
Right.
So that really, really, really stuck with me. But but yeah, so then we did the show with Dirks, and like I said, I think 8 or 9 times now.
Nice.
So
we also toured with Toby Keith and Keith Urban. I remember that was the first one, was Keith Urban when I first joined her.
Okay.
And it's always so cool. And Chesney, we did. It's always so cool to watch all those other bands and just learn from them,
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you up in Milwaukee, up at the baseball stadium.
Oh,
with Chesney a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, the Brewers Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, what's this one? She traveled to Argentina just to see you guys.
All right.
Holy moly!
No kidding. Maybe we need to come to Argentina. See if we can talk Miranda into that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That is
cool.
Now that's a fan right there. And you said you didn't have any fans.
Well, that's not my fan. That's Miranda's fan.
No, I think she likes you, man.
That is cool too. You'll meet people at shows that traveled from so far away. Even if it's in the United States, you'll see them where they traveled from so far away. And they even see you, 2 nights before.
Yeah.
The crazy ones are the ones that'll go. They'll see a Thursday night show, and then they'll be at the Saturday night show, the Friday night show, and the Saturday night show. And we drive like 6+ hours a night, and that means they're doing it and maybe sleeping when they get there. I don't know, but I think that's really cool too to see people that do that.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
I got to get this question in.
okay.
This is my wife.
All right.
So say hi to her.
Hi, Jenny.
The little picture. That's our 2 little girls there.
All right.
So, do you have a favorite venue you've played or a fun memory connected to a certain venue?
Oh yeah. I'd say there's fun memories connected to every venue. In all honesty, I know that sounds stupid, but like I said earlier, probably my favorite of all time would have been Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And I think just because it is Madison Square Garden, and here's a great memory for you. The reason that one was so big to me too is there's a movie called The Song Remains the Same, the Led Zeppelin documentary, and it was filmed at the Garden. And do you remember when they played the show and then they ride off in a limo?
Okay.
And the promoter, a guy named Brian O'Connell, he knew how special that was. Aiden and I, the bass player at the time, and how cool we thought that was. That we were playing the Garden.
Yeah.
And he rented like a 72 limo or whatever it was. And we walk off stage and we all get in the limo and we drive off, and we drove to the end of the tunnel, and then we got out and walked back up. And he did that just as a special treat for us. And it was just hilarious and great.
That's fun.
You just so we could feel like Zeppelin for a minute,
TS. What's this, Billy? TS has to be top of the list. What's TS?
Was that Taylor Swift?
I don't know what he's talking about. Billy, what are you talking about, man? It has to be. I don't know.
What did he? Is he the one that asked earlier who I'd like to play with? That is another girl.
No.
Okay.
Billy's our guitar instructor.
Okay.
He's the kind of flighty, like I said. He's a good dude. I miss him. I haven't, we hang out all the time, and I haven't actually got to really see him. And I saw actually, hey, he went to the school while I was here.
Sorry, you cut out real bad. What'd you say there?
I said I haven't seen him in forever.
Oh, okay.
And I saw, we hang out all the time, and not seeing him for a month.
Yeah. How sad.
This is our only communication.
Man, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your wife just said Texas. Yes, Texas is always a blast to play. In fact, I think one of my favorite gigs ever too is one called Whitewater Amphitheater it's in New Braunfels, which is just south of Texas. We did a 2-night stand there and floated the river and stuff, and it's just a blast. I had my wife and kids come out, and so much fun. I'm guessing that's what she meant by saying Texas ?
I know. She was asking to Billy, and Billy says his keyboard quit on him. So I don't even. I don't know. What's next on your list for guitar purchases?
Next on the list for guitar purchases, man, I don't know. I kind of. This sounds bad, but I kind of got them all. I've got.
No way.
I kind of got everything I want. I know that sounds crazy, and I know there'll come another one that I'll see and pick up, and I'll just have to have it. But I don't ever usually go hunting for them. I kind of just accidentally find them. It seems like almost every guitar I've gotten has been that way, where I'll be in a guitar store and what is that,
Yeah.
And then I just have to have it and make it happen.
I love it.
Yeah, so
because you can't say you have everything.
No, I don't have everything, but I definitely have. I've got a lot. I mean, I've got Gretches and Tellys and Strats and Firebirds and SGs and 335s and all the good stuff.
So how many total would you say you got?
I think I have about 30.
Okay, that's a good solid number.
Yeah.
All right, let's take another one from my wife's Aunt Nancy.
All right, hi Aunt Nancy. Do you have any pre-concert routine that you must do? Well, yeah. Personally, I always have to put in a piece of gum. I don't know why, but I've been chewing gum on stage my whole life, and I still do it. It's so stupid. And now it's like that, and I have a necklace that I wear that has my wedding ring and then my two badges with my kids' names on them, and I have to have that on, so I always put that on. In fact, one time we were playing the Grammys, and I forgot it at home, and my wife had to overnight it to me. I mean, I couldn't have played without it. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like it just doesn't feel right if it isn't on. And then as a band, we have a pre-concert routine where we all give a little toast. You know, someone will say some funny toast or a serious toast, and then we take a shot, and then go out there, and then we do this thing called put them in the middle and let them twiddle, where you put your fingers in and everyone does that.
Okay.
Billy Gibbons taught us that. We did a song with him on the ACMs, and that was his deal. We just thought it was so cool, and we kept doing it.
Yeah, if Billy Gibbons does it,
yeah,
you got to stick with it.
And you know it's cool.
So yeah, you got to watch that ZZ Top documentary tonight.
Yeah, no, I've been wanting to really bad. I gotta find time and do it. I just need to tell my wife I got to do this.
She'd probably actually enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Is she into music?
She likes bad music.
Bad music?
It's just I've been trying to train her, and she's not coming around.
Well, we won't say names.
We won't say names. No, I don't want to do that.
So it's all a matter of opinion.
Right. That's right.
Nancy. Yeah, Nancy also wants to know.
Man, for me, in all honesty, it's gin. But if I had to pick between those two, probably whiskey.
I got to go the other way.
Those are both bad news for me.
Yeah, I try to steer clear of those as much as possible.
That is headache city for me. Both of those.
Great questions, Nancy.
That is good question, Aunt Nancy. How about you? Is she a tequila or a woman person or a whiskey person?
Yeah, what you got, Nancy? I think I know the answer. Well, her husband, Uncle Steve, does his own home brewing. So,
wow.
So we'll see what she says here. We'll give her a minute. So, but yeah, we're about at an hour. So I'll let you get on your school work with your kid.
I was gonna say I got to get back to homeschooling now.
Learn all that first grade stuff again.
Yeah, see if I can get him focused.
Yeah, she says both.
All right, good answer.
So yeah, for everybody watching, if you missed any of this, the replay will be on our Facebook page, or you can go to YouTube in a little while and watch it there, or you can watch any of our other Q&As we've done. If you enjoyed a couple dudes just sitting here talking about whatever, we've done some other ones with Adam Schoenfeld from Tim McGraw's band, Kent Slucher from Luke Bryan's band, Rudy.
Well.
Yeah, we talked with Rudy Sarzo, the legendary bass player.
Awesome.
And also David Ellefson from Megadeth.
Yeah.
And Dax Nielsen from Cheap Trick. So there's a whole bunch of other cool interviews that you can check out on our YouTube page, subscribe. And if you want to help us out here at the Academy, you'll see at the bottom scrolling. There's a Venmo or PayPal if you want to shoot us a couple bucks to help support our programs. That would be awesome. And then Alex, thank you tons for hanging out with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And we will catch up with you soon. And
good.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you.
And then, all right, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast. I'll chat with you in a second here.
All right.
See you guys.